So first up, we have wonderful Kathleen Krall. So take it away, Kathy.
Thank you, Virginia. Yeah, I'm Kathleen Krall, and I write mostly biographies for young readers. And most of my books are pretty serious. You can see them at my website, www.kathleenkrall.com. But sometimes I write silly books, and this is my silliest book. It's called A Fartiste. And you know the word artiste, meaning a great artist. This guy uses farts. And so he's called The Fartiste. It's a true story. I wrote it with my husband, Paul Brewer, and he is a very silly guy. The books that we do together are silly. And this is gloriously illustrated by Boris Kulikov. So this is The Fartiste. Joseph Pujol was a French boy of 8 when he stumbled upon his very best trait. While splashing around in the ocean one day, not far from his house in the town of Marseille. One minute, by chance, he was flexing his gut. The next, he had sounds coming out of his butt. Joe gasped with the shock, then roared with delight, and soon he was sucking in air day and night. High or low, soft or loud, and sweet, even tart, he was honing his skill, the art of the fart. Noises from his backside, wow, what a gift! His fartistic training was amazingly swift. Joseph grew up to become a fine baker. Of tarts and baguettes, a respectable maker, he married Elizabeth, had a family of 10, and put on a show for his kids now and then. At long last, he used a skill no one else had. In public, on stage, he farted, egad, fashioning music out of the air, blasting out tunes from his own derriere. One day a baker with butter and yeast, and the next, voila, he was Joe, the fartiste. Joe made his way to the great Moulin Rouge in the city of Paris at a hall that was huge. There, Sarah Bernhardt was all the rage, earned 8,000 francs every night on the stage. Oops. Stage with this tall, dashing guy. Long red coat with tails, white shirt, and a tie. His black satin pants had a very strange shape, with a hole in the back for the air to escape. Solemn and calm, not a sign of stage fright, Joe fired off noises most impolite, announcing a sound with a face oh so serious, performing it straightway, mysterious, delirious. He could whisper or shout. Whisper or sneeze, achoo, gesundheit, or boom, boom, blast off like a gun or dynamite. Animal sounds he'd do, like an arf from a dog, a cry from a rooster, a croak from a frog, a bit of Beethoven, a song by Mozart, a Debussy ditty, all through a fart. Men chewed their mustaches, keeping straight faces, while women went breathless in corsets with laces. As Joe carried on, there were snickers and wiggles, followed by a chorus of uncontrollable giggles. Finally, shrieks of mirth would be heard. Could you die laughing? It was just so absurd. Nurses were stationed in the aisle to scout for those laughing so hard they completely passed out. Joe never stopped adding new sounds to his act, keeping the theater completely jam-packed. The strangest part of his story to tell is that his flatulent actions completely lacked smell. Air that was in him for seconds, no problem at all, not a hint of scent that would sneak up the hall. Presidents came, even a king and a queen, raising their brows, wanting to deem him obscene, but no matter how proper or sophisticated, all of them ended up discombobulated. He led songs for convulsions of froth, increased when he sounded the ripping of cloth. He'd blow out the gaslights on stage one by one to bid people adieu, and then poof, he was done. Famous and loved, the artiste at his height was pulling in 20,000 francs every night. The toast of Paris from January to December, those who saw him will forever remember. Of all the performers, maybe last but not least, was the man who made his pants dance, Joe the Fartiste. I hope you liked the Fartiste, and if you would like to get your own copy, it's available wherever books are sold, especially at my favorite store, Warwick's. Thank you.
Yay, that was wonderful. I always enjoy Fartiste. It's one of my favorites of Kathy's books. But Kathy, I have to say, I'm impressed. You rolled your R's like a champ. I didn't know you had it in you. You kept back that talent. So next up we have Chris Barron, who sent me a text and said that he also has some Fartiste skills that he's happy to share. I'm just kidding, he did not. But Chris, you're up next. What are you going to be sharing with us today?
Well, hey everyone. I'm so happy to see everyone and thankful for this festival and everyone out there. I don't really know how to follow that. I don't think there's any good way. But I am going to read from my middle grade book, All of Me, which is out now. And it is the coming of age story of 13-year-old Ari Rosensweig, who's a kid who's been teased and bullied about his weight his whole life. And the summer before his bar mitzvah, he tries to make a change. And so I thought I'd just read the first part of this, and then I have a little surprise after. Who am I? The life in my head seems so different from the life outside, where I'm so big that everyone stares, but no one sees the real me. My name is Ari Rosensweig, and this year I'm the newest 7th grader at Mill Valley Middle School. I have sandy brown hair and green eyes like my father's. I'm average height, but I'm a fat kid, and I hate it when people call me names. Even though I'm overweight, I can still do everything everyone else can, ride my bike, play video games, but people just see me as different. Only notice who I am on the outside. My mother's an artist who sculpts giants in clay and paints the world on canvas, on murals, and even on clothes. My father sells what she paints. I'm an only child, and sometimes I get lonely, wish for a brother or sister, but I get so much time to myself to do what I like to do, and no one interferes. I make role-playing games. I'm gonna be a cryptozoologist. I want to find the creatures out there like Bigfoot that might seem so different, but that belong to this world too. My mother says we're going to spend the summer at the beach. Out in nature, she says. I like the beach, but I don't like taking off my shirt. And I always have to hike up my pants. And I worry that there isn't enough food because I'm always hungry. And more than anything, I think I want to lose weight, but I don't know how. So that's the first chapter, and it's a novel in verse, so it's the first chapter / poem from All of Me. And then I thought I'd also just read, for the first time ever, an opening chapter from my new book, which is called The Magical Imperfect, this is not the title, I mean, not the cover. There's an amazing cover that's coming soon from Macmillan, Philo and Friends. But I thought I would read just the first part of the book, and it's another friendship story, middle grade novel in verse, set against the backdrop of the 1989 World Series in the Bay Area. And it's about these kids who are the descendants of immigrants through Angel Island, and who came through Angel Island. And it's a kind of a magical tale of how their friendship helps them come together and find some healing. Earthquake drill. The alarm is a wave that knocks us out of our chairs. Pencils fly, papers float in the air, chairs squeak as we dive under our desks. But nobody's scared, it's only a drill. We're getting used to them. There were a few small quakes over the summer, so school makes us do drills once a week, but I don't like how loud it gets. The alarm bells sound winding up and down and up again. We wait until we're told it's time to go outside. When we get to the field, Jordan and the other boys argue about the World Series. Jordan used to be my best friend until our parents got in that argument that broke everything into pieces. So it's different now. He spends time with Martin. Martin thinks the A's and the Giants are going to be in it. A's in 89, he says. No one steals bases like Ricky Henderson. If I wanted to speak up, I would tell him no way. Candy Maldonado is too good in the outfield. Dad and I always root for the Giants. When we come back to class, we have to finish our quiz by reciting 5 helping verbs. Except I don't have to. I have a note that says it's okay for me to write things down. I don't like to speak in front of the people. Some teachers say I won't, but it's not that. I don't like to talk. My father says it's because my mom had to go. The doctor he takes me to agrees with him and thinks it may be selective mutism. But I don't have anyone I want to talk to right now. I'd rather spend time on Main Street with my grandfather in his jewelry shop, where he fixes broken things and makes them whole again. Sometimes I watch my father build houses. He can hammer a nail in one swing, but not me. I'm kind of small and a little round, and I can draw a tree faster than I can hammer a nail. So I stick to that. So, yay, thank you for letting me read that first chapter for the Magical Imperfect, which comes out all the way next summer. Anyway, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to hearing everyone.
Hey, thank you so much, Chris. I was so excited because I usually miss sports references, but I got that. I know who the Giants are. My one of my students, when I was a former classroom teacher, and my 3rd grade student, and now he's at San Diego State, but he just got drafted for the the 49ers. Okay, I don't know anything about sports.
It's close. It's all very close.
But it's San Francisco, right?
Yes. Yes.
And baseball. Okay, all
Yeah.
right. Whatever. Anyways, I was trying to show off and then it blew up in my face. All right. So next up, we have the wonderful Andrea Loney, who is here fresh off her Caldecott winning tour.
The tour from the kitchen to the living room.
That's right. That's how we tour in COVID now. But what are you going to be reading for us today?
I will be reading Double Bass Blues, and with the shiny new sticker that I'm so excited about. It didn't come with chocolate in it though. I mean, not that I really thought it would, but you know, you try. So let's see. So Double Bass Blues is illustrated by the amazing Rudy Gutierrez, who won the Caldecott honor for this. And part of why I think that happened is because the manuscript for this book is 83 words long. And a lot of the words repeat themselves. So it's probably less than 83 words. And he just made this entire journey out of those 83 words and many, many, many illustration notes that I put together to make this. So
you have no excuse to go over 5 minutes.
You would think not. You would think not, but
good luck to you.
let's try this. So first of all, if anybody watching this is plays an instrument, you might see your instrument here somewhere. But this one is the double bass, and this is the school, this is the music teacher, conductor, right? So, how it starts, zip, he opens up the double bass case, and then it starts with a hum, and he plays a wonderful double bass solo, after with the teacher, and everybody else goes clap, 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 clap for his solo. And then he gets high fives and his friend says, epic solo, Nick. Oops. And then Nick says, catch you later. Now, when I read this to kids, I usually ask them what time of day they think this is, because this right here is an entire illustration of a walk home from school this way and this way and this way. Isn't that amazing? I love Rudy Gutierrez's mind. Oof! He throws it over a fence, but grrr, someone comes to get it. But he does not give up. While some students are on the school bus, he is taking the city bus, where people say, "What is that?" Because who's ever seen a double bass before, right? And then someone else says, "Nice tie, chump." Because I guess they weren't used to a school uniform. And then, plunk, 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 it rains. And the windshield wipers are going whoosh, 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 and Nick is noticing it. And someone says, "Watch it, kid." And then, as he's walking in the rain with his double bass, the girls go, "It's bigger than him." And at this point, I usually ask kids, how do we think Nick is feeling right now? Not too good about life. But then he finally gets to the building where he needs to go. Finally. But it's out of order. Oh, man. But he still doesn't give up because he came all that way. So, thump, 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 thump. He walks up the stairs, thump. Then he has to kind of sit and rest for a little bit. Thump, thump, thump. And then knock, knock, knock. What took you so long, son? This is Nicodemus Grant and his band. And then little Nick says, "Granddaddy." And his friends say, "Look who's here, little Nick." And I love how Rudy put a little heart inside the drum. Isn't that cute? I love that. The boy with the bowl fiddle, he made it. "Hey, Granddaddy Nick, listen to this." He unzips his case and he goes, hum. And then all the sounds in the book come together. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Plunk, plunk, plunk. Clap, clap, clap. Just imagine like all this great jazz music going. That's what's happening right there. And it goes all the way across the city. And even the people who didn't understand and were laughing at him are now dancing in the music. And it ends with little Nick playing with his grandpa's band. And that is Double Bass Blues.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Thank you. And in my family, everybody, all the kids have to learn how to play a musical instrument from about the age of 5. So I learned piano, and in high school, I played the xylophone, the chimes, and the marching marimba. And my grandpa was a concert pianist who played with the London Philharmonic during World War II.
Wow.
Juilliard,
So
played
cool.
Ella Fitzgerald, all that stuff. So it was really fun to put this all together.
Well, and you're also obviously a musician with words, because that was beautiful.
Thank you
so much. We definitely could see why it won the Caldecott. So yay, good job, Caldecott team. And I also have the distinct pleasure of featuring Double Bass Blues in the next California Reader cover. And as Sally and Kathy's also been featured, and I'll get to everybody else, so don't worry. But yeah, it's oh man, I'm so proud of you. That's such a great book. So our next person is the wonderful Sally J. Pla, who basically wins every like the nicest author in the world award. So we have Sally up, and Sally, what are you going to share with us today?
I was thinking of sharing something from my second middle grade book, which is called Stanley Will Probably Be Fine, because Comic-Con is going on right now virtually, and they have all sorts of amazing free panels you can see via YouTube online and stuff. But Stanley is about a very anxious young boy who actually does, his like one thing that he's really good at is comics trivia, and he loves comics. So he does comics trivia treasure hunt all around downtown San Diego. The book is also set right in San Diego with like scenes in the San Diego library downtown and, you know, at the marina and like all over. So He goes all over looking for clues, hoping to win tickets to Comic Fest in the book. And it scares him to do it. And he just like, is kind of freaking out the whole time. It's kind of just a silly book, but anyway, that's Stanley. So I just thought I'd read you the first chapter. And another thing, you know, it's just interesting thinking about, you know, the beginnings of books. They're often about predicaments, you know, especially like middle grade novels, or they're usually about a predicament. Something that, you know, either an emotional one for your main character, or there's a physical predicament, or both. So I don't know, that's just something that struck me today. And Stanley definitely finds himself in a predicament. Chapter 1. I never thought I'd end this day trapped in Albert Einstein's dog crate, teetering at the top of our basement stairs. But you know, it only proves my point. Like I always tell my friend June, bad stuff can pop up and trap you at any time. I mean, even if it seems like stuff is going okay, suddenly, wham, just like in the comics, a splash page of heart-thumping action can explode out of nowhere. 1 minute, you're happily eating a piece of cake. Boom. The next minute, dog crate of doom. It all started because my brother Cal turned 14 today. We had pot roast, gravy, a giant vat of mashed potatoes. It was just the four of us, Gramps, Mom, Cal, and me, and Albert Einstein under the table. That's our dog, the world's least intelligent golden retriever. Mom got off work early for the first time in months so she could cook Cal's favorite birthday dinner. She also made this amazing chocolate birthday cake, 3 layers, frosting like melt-in-your-mouth fudge. So after dinner, once Mom had gone back out for a real estate showing, I decided to steal another hunk of it. But Cal must have heard me sneak in the kitchen, because all of a sudden, wham, he leapt out of thin air, slammed his hand on the counter so hard, both the cake plate and I jumped. Illegal cake grab, Stanley, Cal shouted. My birthday, my cake. I froze. Freezing was a bad choice, because Cal had me in an instant headlock. Let me go. Just like certain superheroes, there are times when I have to set aside my usual commitment to non-violence. This was one of those times. I stomped on Cal's foot, hard as I could. His grip loosened. I ducked, spun, twisted free. I was getting away. I dashed behind him, but now I was trapped in a corner. Stupid, stupid, stupid. An evil grin unfurled across Cal's slightly hairy, pimply face. Got you now. I looked around, frantic. The dog crate! I flung open the wire mesh door and dashed inside. Cal lunged, but he was too late. I scrambled to the back and scrunched up in a tiny ball as far from his groping hands as I could get. I was safe. Or so I thought. Because right then, the crate door slammed shut and I was being slid across the floor to the top of the basement stairs. Stop screaming, you weenie, said Cal. I'm not going to push you down the stairs. Then he giggled. When Cal giggles, it sounds like the squeak of a rusty metal gate hinge. And sometimes he throws in a snort, like a pig stuck in that rusty gate. No, I hollered. But yes. Cal placed the back half of the crate with me in it on firm ground, but the front half he left hanging over the top step. So now, if I scramble forward to open the door, I'll unbalance and crash down into the basement. I try not to think about that. I hug my knees and stay still as a statue. My glasses are smudged with chocolate, but I can't take them off to polish them. I can't risk any movement. I try not to hyperventilate. Cal grabs my cake plate and brings it over near me. He sits cross-legged by my cage. He says, spewing crumbs, rolling his eyeballs around. Delicious. I have this stack of comics upstairs, 2 feet high. And any one of them, the hero or even the sidekick, could be out of this bind in a flash. Superman would melt the bars, Batman would open his crazy utility belt, the Flash wouldn't have gotten caught in the first place, Wolverine would be out with a swipe of a claw, Spidey would sling a web and drag himself to safety. But I'm no superhero. I'm about as far from a superhero as you could find. The only thing I can do is huddle in the corner of this dumb dog crate and pray for help.
Oh, Sally, that was wonderful. So in addition to being an awesome author and a pianist, I also feel like you have potential to be like a one-woman stage show. You did such a great job with all the voices. And I also, weenie is one of my most favorite words. So I appreciate your good use of the word weenie. But thank you so much. That was great. Okay, so next up we have Michael Mahin. So Michael, what are you reading for us today?
Well, it wasn't shameless enough for me just to hold my book up, so I decided to put it here in the background. I'm like floating in it. Isn't that beautiful? This is When Angels Sing. It's a magical book about rock legend Carlos Santana. And somehow they managed, ALA screwed up, and they gave us a couple of awards too. You can tell illustrator Jose Ramirez won the Pura Belpre honor for this book, and you can tell how gorgeous that is. So he deserved it. I'm also going to, let's see, I'm going to slide back here so we can see. This will make it a little bit easier for me to hold my book up. Here we go. There we go. When Angels Sing, the story of rock legend Carlos Santana. When you were born, your tia abuela called you El Cristalino, the crystal one. She thought the light of angels shined through you. Your father wanted to name you Geronimo, after the brave Apache freedom fighter. He was proud of his mestizo blood, but your mother, as always, had the final word. Carlos. Your father, like your grandfather before him, was a traveling musician. You missed him when he went away. You missed the soapy smell of maha on his skin and the smile in his eyes, but most of all, you missed the sound of his violin. When he was home, people would crowd into the square to hear him play. It was a sound that filled the world with magic and love and feeling and healing. It was a sound that made angels real. You wanted to make angels real too. First you tried el clarinete, but the buzzy reed was too fussy for your nose. Then you tried el corneo, grandfather's instrument, but the taste of brass was too bitter on your lips. Finally, you tried el violin. You scratched and squeaked and practiced so hard your tears stained its wood, but it would not sing for you, not like it sang for your father. There were no angels when you played, not yet, at least. When I am good enough, they will come, you thought. Man, it's good stuff. I gotta get all the picture in there. To you, life in Outlan de Navarro was escondidas, hide and seek, played beneath the mesquite trees with your brothers and sisters. It was the plop pop of a red ripe mango, the crooning of a chachalaca bird, and the bubble boil of pozole on the stove. On specials days, it was biznagas, sweets made from cactus, and alfajor, a kind of cookie made with dulce de leche. But life without running water and electricity is hard. And when the nibble sting of the chinches and pulgas became too much, your mother sold everything and took you to Tijuana. Tijuana wasn't much better. Sure, there were fresh tamales and chili rellenos and the orangey pipián sauce and chocolate like mole. But Colonia Libertad was still the ghetto, and you were still so poor. Soon you were dressed like a charro and playing tu violin for 50 cents a song. La cucaracha, besame mucho, they said. Tourist music, you thought. But it was a way to make money. So your father forced you to learn more songs, Mozart, Brahms, polkas, boleros, gypsy music. You must put your heart into it, he said. But you could not. This is not the music my angels want to hear, you thought. This is why they do not sing for me. Almost get all this one in there. Your mother knew you loved music, even though you hated the violin. One day, she took you to Palacio de Municipal Park with its bustling walkways and chiming carts. You had heard the blues before, but you had never seen how the music was made. You had never seen someone play la guitarra, at least not like this. The hair on your arms stood up. An angel's breath, you thought. This is the big moment right here. Your father was away as usual, but your mother sent him a letter. After saving enough money, he sent home una guitarra. It was battered and bruised and beautiful. Do I have time for one more page?
Go for it.
All right. You found an old radio, took your guitar, and played along in a storage room in the dark because that was the only quiet place in the house. You closed your eyes and let your ears lead the way, and you taught yourself to follow the plunk of el piano and the bounce of el bajo and the sway of el saxophone, and most importantly, the groove of la guitarra. You collected the ingredients and marinated your soul in them and learned that playing the blues was not about the color of your skin or which part of town you came from. It was about feeling the music. You did not put your heart into it like your father had said. Instead, you let the music put its heart into you.
Oh, that was so super.
Thank you so
sharing,
much.
Michael.
Thank you so much for letting me share.
I feel like if we had time, we should play, some Carlos Santana in the background and then watch Jennifer Thompson dance some more. But alas, we don't have time.
I feel like we have enough musicians on the call here that we could all put a band together real quick and have a good time.
Oh my gosh, you just gave me an idea. Michael, stand by for email later today.
I'm ready.
Okay, so next up we have Jen Laffler, who has some wonderful poems that she's going to share with us. Jen, do you want to tell us about your poems?
Sure. All right, so hi, I'm Jen, and I'm going to be introducing a special featured guest artist in my reading today. I'm very excited. So I'm the author of J is for Jitterbug, a fanciful animal alphabet, good old animal alphabet book, but I like to think we put a pretty cool twist on it. But what I have been working on for the last 3 years, and what I'm very excited to share with you guys today, are some just good old kids' poems. Poems inspired by the kids I've met, by my 3 kids, and the funny things they say. So without any further ado, first poem, it's called Wipeout. I'll let the poem tell the story. Wipeout. Mama said to wipe my chin. Now there's nothing 'neath my grin. Mama said to wipe my mouth. I wiped so much, I wiped it out. Mama said to wipe my nose. I wiped it good, now there it goes. What happened next? Surprise, surprise. My next wipe wiped away my eyes. I wiped my hand across my brow, and I might have a problem now, 'cause when I went to wipe my face, there was nothing in its place, and now my hair hangs out in space. All right, so that was a poem inspired by my daughter Philippa. I'm gonna share with you one more, also Pippa inspired. You know how kids, when they're sleeping, they can kind of like thrash around and just wreak havoc, and you're thinking, oh, it'll be so sweet to snuggle, and it's not, because they're maniacs. Well, this poem is called Beware Wild Animal Sleeping. By day, she's the kindest child in the world, a soft-spoken, sweet-hearted, good little girl. But beware, 'cause by night, it's like a switch flips. As soon as she's sleeping, she tosses and kicks, like a grumpy old donkey with nasty new tricks, or a slurpy swamp creature who mutters and mumbles, then snores with a sound that's no childlike rumble. She roars like a jaguar, a queen of the jungle. and scratches and claws with seeming real rage. Does she dream she's a wildcat escaping a cage? As she jabs out with elbows and bashes with knees, swinging through bed like a monkey through trees, stealing every last cover without saying please. She snuffles and drools like a crazed armadillo, like the absolute last thing you'd want near your pillow. Why, she'll charge at your face like a mad moose would do. She'll poke at your eye like a rude kangaroo, and then she'll wrap herself round you, a strong, silly snake, which at first feels quite charming, till it's too much to take. And yet she's innocent as a church mouse in the morning when she wakes.
Oh, that was so much fun.
Thank you. I feel very honored to be with all these amazing authors, but so thank you.
Oh, wow. Well, you're an amazing author too. That was great.
I'm working on it. So the next poem, I'm going to feature a surprise guest, my daughter, Aaliyah, who will recognize this one because she's lived it. Come on in. And maybe you guys will recognize this one too. I feel like this is my entire childhood in a poem right here. This one is called Cookie No.
Can I eat some cookie dough?
That would be a cookie no.
Just one teeny tiny pinch.
I'm not giving in 1 inch.
Just one chocolate chip or two.
They're for the cookies, not for you.
Come on, please, just one. Come on, Mom, please, just one taste.
Sounds to me like a dough waste.
Will you at least let me lick the spoon?
The answer to that is not soon.
Can I clean the bowl at least?
I'm not leaving you a feast.
Mom, did you just sneak a bite?
I'm making sure it tastes all right.
Oh, so cute. Thank you.
All right, and we got one more to share with you. And this is a lot of us this spring. We went into the virtual homeschooling world. Surprise, surprise. And this was written spontaneously in that moment. I just want to give a shout out to all the teachers for pulling it together for us. And we can't wait to go back virtually, however it may be in the fall. All right, so this poem is called Shush. Everybody quiet now. Get your homework done somehow. Turn off the show tunes, the giggling, the fun. Tell me, when did you guys get so good at getting nothing done? Cut the chit-chat, lose the whispers, stop poking and pestering and such. Okay, breathing's still allowed. Just try not to breathe too much. Which reminds me, have I mentioned you guys chew way too loud? Like I could find you by your chewing in a 1,000,000-person crowd. No, I will not answer questions till you've looked all through your books. That's right, and by the way, I really love your dirty looks. 'Cause dirty looks are quiet kids, and quiet kids are good. Aaliyah, do you have something to say? Could you not have understood? It's like you're a world-class expert in finding my very last button to push.
Mom, please don't get mad. It's just, could you please shush?
All right, well, thank you. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Okay, so we have a few minutes left. So I am just going to share a little snippet from one of my new books, Neon, the Chinese New Year Dragon. And I realized I did not practice my read aloud on Zoom skills. So text placement may be weird, but we'll, I know where you can buy a copy and you'll be able to have the experience yourself. Okay, May hated springtime. Springtime meant Neon was hungry. Neon was the fierce dragon that used to rule the land until a magical warrior put a spell on him. Because of this spell, Neon was forced to hide in a mountain under the sea. But every spring, Neon came out to fill his empty stomach. He especially loved to eat little boys and girls. And I'm just sharing, or trying to share the picture. The illustrator is Tim Banks, and he is wonderful. I love his stuff. May was scared. Her whole village was scared. They could hear the rumbling of Neon's stomach. That's how they knew winter was over and spring was coming. I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, and I really wanted to say winter is coming, but it didn't fit with the story, so I had to say spring was coming. The night before the first day of spring, the magical warrior visited May in her dreams. The warrior said to May, hundreds of years have passed and a new year is coming. Neon's power grows stronger and my spell grows weaker each year. I can no longer keep him in the mountain under the sea. You must defeat Neon. You must do this in 15 days or Neon will be free forever. Mayhen will help you. May asked, why me? You were born in the year of the golden dragon. It is your destiny. When May woke up the next morning, the magical warrior's walking cane was next to her pillow. May, Mama yelled, wake up. Neon is on his way. We must flee and hide. Mama herded the animals into the barn. Hurry, Neon will devour everything in his way. He'll eat our livestock and crops. With his large mouth, he can swallow many villagers in one bite. May had lost her father and little brother to Neon's mighty jaws the year before. May helped Mama hide, but then she remembered the warrior's cane and ran to get it. I'll be right back. May stopped in her tracks. She heard a terrible roar and smelled a terrible smell. Neon made his way toward May. She could see his sharp teeth and claws. She could see his long, slimy tongue. May grabbed the cane and she also grabbed a cooking pot and banged it with the cane. She yelled, Neon, go away. You are not wanted here. Neon covered his eyes with his big paws. He didn't like the noise. That gave May a wonderfully noisy idea. She yelled to the other villagers, make a lot of noise. The villagers obeyed. They banged pots, they clanged pans, they hollered, they hooted, they threw firecrackers at Neon, and Neon fled back to his mountain under the sea. And this describes one of the reasons why at Chinese New Year festivals, we have firecrackers and loud noises, etc. So this my story goes into some of the traditions of the New Year festival. And of course, May, the little woman warrior, ends up defeating the day and saving the village. In order for you to find out how, that you can go to Warwick's or any place where books are sold and buy our books. And you can also buy any one of our wonderful books. Keep us keep us working. So make sure that you go to various bookstores and wherever books are sold and ask for our book. If they don't have it, request it and support us in that way. And if you go to Warwick, say hi to Stacy Hare. She's one of our favorite people. So I know that our time is up. I hope that you enjoyed this Power Hour story time. We know that we enjoy being here with you, and we're going to be here this afternoon. We've got many fun panels for you today. We've got the a KidLit panel on women, then on difference, and also how to write KidLit with SCBWI. So make sure that you join us for a fun-filled afternoon, and I will pass it on to Jennifer. We hope you enjoyed being with us. We enjoyed being with you. Toodles. See you later.
That was awesome. Thank you. Virginia, I have to say, those books were lovely. You curated a wonderful, wonderful selection for us. Thank you so much.